Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video here on XRP. A full morning update on the current price action, which has been relatively bearish, but well, I have good and bad news, and it's exactly the same news. And that is that my analysis hasn't changed. Although there are some things we need to talk about here regarding risks. You know, can we actually drop down into that next support level towards 2.32, 2.3, which in my opinion would be the next main support level after 2.41. We'll talk about that, but what I said yesterday, both in my morning updates, but also in the middle of the day market update, was that, you know, yesterday we were breaking above that 2.6, 2.61 level, but we technically did. But I said, you know, it looks a little bit shaky, all right, if that's the best word to describe it. And I wasn't sure if we would be able to hold that. So what I said is that, you know, I'm being a bit conservative here, and I also said that in the video. But I think it's more likely that we will pull back a bit, remain stable before getting up to 2.75 and 2.85. And I still think that's most likely. I mean, we have now pulled back into the point of control, or at least we are almost at the point of control between 2.45 and 2.41, where you have the weekly rolling VWAP and the 200 EMA. And just, I mean, it's a massive point of control, right? So there is a lot of liquidity. We're pushing down into that, and what I've always said is that, you know, I expect that level to hold, and then from there we will find some stability, and then from that stability we can eventually get a move up higher into 2.75 and 2.85. And even though at this point of time this move looks absolutely ridiculous, that is still what I do expect. All right, I expect Bitcoin to bottom out here. I think the bearish pressure we've seen over the course of this morning is real, but I do expect support. I think it's real, but I don't think it's strong enough to cause a bearish breakdown, and therefore I also don't think it will cause a bearish breakdown for XRP. Although, honestly, would I buy XRP at 2.41, which is ultimately the main test of my confidence in the analysis? I would say small position or no. Because the market, I mean, in general, I already have exposure to the market, so I'm not necessarily looking for more exposure. But outside of that, I would love to, given the bearish pressure right now and all the news that we have with Russia and Ukraine and Jerome Powell speaking today, I would prefer to like get a fake out below 2.41 and then enter with the reclaim. Right, something like that, just purely technically, would be a trade I would be more confident in. And that's also something I'll be watching. But ultimately, I mean, given the strength that we're seeing given the strength at that support level, and you compare that with the strength we're seeing right now in the dump, I mean, we can go back in time. For example, right here, the 28th of April. And you can see the volume here at the top, and especially with that bearish pressure, was just higher. Same thing right here. Usually you get quite a lot of volume when the dump starts, and at this point of time, like, volume is increasing, but that's also because we're entering liquidity here. But I don't think it's strong enough to push through this entire support level. Right, so what I expect is support, stability, and then from that stability, I'll be back with more updates, whether I still expect from that stability to get a move up, right? Because that remains to be seen. Let's say we get a weak reaction at 2.41, then I might have to switch my bias, right? I mean, if we get a weak reaction and we're doing something like this, for example, in terms of price action, then we might have to prepare for a move into 2.32, 2.3. But for now, like I said, just to summarize, I would still say it's most likely we will hold support right here, and we will get a move up later after that balance. But those are my thoughts for now. Have a great day. I'll see you all in my next videos. Take care today, and bye.